So you're thinking about becoming Catholic. Lots of different people do this for lots of different reasons. And I know that it can be a pretty crazy experience when you are on this journey. And maybe some of you have been on the journey for a while and you've already studied all the things about the Catholic Church. But maybe some of you are just dipping your feet in a little bit going, whoa, I've never seen this before. What's this all about? I want to share with you 5 things that you should do really no matter where you are on the journey, because I think these things are going to help every single one of you. Now, did this list come down from the Pope or from some kind of Marian apparition, or was it dug up in a fragment from the early Christians? No, this is just me. This is just what I think, so take it for what it's worth. But I think that at least one of the things on this list might just help you regardless of where you're coming from, because I know that where you come from matters on this journey. Like me, if you're coming from being a Protestant for a long time, you've got a lot of hang-ups about the Catholic Church, but maybe you're someone who doesn't have any of that baggage and you're just coming into the Catholic Church from nothing really, or from no other church background. I think these things are going to be helpful to you either way. And the first one is this: read the catechism. The catechism is the official summary of what the Catholic Church officially teaches. Now, does it include everything? No, it's a summary. But I think it's important for everyone who is interested in Catholicism to learn what the Catholic Church teaches in an easily digestible way. And that's what the catechism does. It's going to break things down for you. It's going to help you understand what the church teaches in a way that is easy to understand, that's connected to the history, tradition, and the scriptures, so that you can know what you're getting into. Because one of the things that you have to deal with when you're interested in Catholicism, and maybe you're on the internet looking at things or talking to people, are a lot of misconceptions about what Catholicism is and teaches. Everyone's going to try to tell you, oh, but the Catholic Church does this or believes that, or what about this? What about that? It can be really hard to sort through all of the misinformation out there. And of course, YouTube is great and podcasts are great, but there's nothing greater for understanding what the Catholic Church teaches than the catechism. So get your hands on a copy and read this. That's the first thing that you should do. Okay, number 2, I think that you should start going to daily Mass as much as you can. I think it's important for you to experience Catholic worship, because sometimes people read about the Catholic Church, they watch videos, they learn about it, they become enchanted with it, and then when they go into Mass, there's like this disconnect between what they've learned and what they're experiencing. And I think that the more you can experience worshiping as a Catholic or with Catholics, the better off you're going to be. You'll start to understand the rhythm and the flow of the Catholic Mass and of what's going on. Because the Catholic Church looks a lot different from the inside than it does from the outside. And that can sometimes be good and it can sometimes be bad. And I think that we have to be honest with ourselves and say, you can't just read your way into the church and then become Catholic, get dropped off at the door, and have a clue what's going on. No, you've got to experience what's happening. So I would encourage you, go to Sunday Mass, the weekend Mass, but also go to daily Mass as much as you can. Get around people who are worshiping in the Catholic Church, who are practicing the faith, and experience that worship. And I think that's actually going to help you more than a lot of other things that you might be thinking about. Number 3, this goes without saying, and this probably should have been number 1, but pray, pray, pray. But I want you to pray specifically that the Lord would guide you into all truth. It's one of the promises that Jesus gave the apostles about the Holy Spirit. He said the Holy Spirit is going to guide you into all truth. And we understand that as Catholics to be something targeted at the apostles as they would be teaching the faith, that the Holy Spirit would guide them into teaching the faith. It wasn't understood to be this individualistic promise given to everybody everywhere that individually, apart from anyone else, everyone's going to have the truth. I know that's kind of a hang-up. Some people are like, well, I don't need the church. I've got the Bible and the Holy Spirit. But remember, you're feeling drawn into the Catholic Church because you want to be connected to the actual church that Jesus gave this promise to. But that doesn't mean that there's nothing there for you. As you align yourself with the Catholic Church, as you start to make your way into it, as you're interested in it, and you've got a lot of hang-ups perhaps, maybe you've got things you don't understand. Hey, that's okay. You'll get there, but pray and ask for the Lord to guide you into truth. I'm telling you, that's a huge thing that you need to be doing. You need to bathe everything that you're doing and everything that you're learning in prayer, asking God, opening yourself up, saying, I want to know the truth. Please guide me into the truth. Number 4, you need to ask a lot of questions. I know it can be overwhelming. You're going through the catechism, you're going to Mass, you don't understand what things mean, you don't understand why the church does things or what the church teaches about this. Ask questions. Everything in the Catholic Church has meaning and has purpose. And when you learn the why behind the what, it's only going to help you. I know some things might seem strange, and it might be even simple things like, why do we cross ourselves when we pass by a church or when we go in? Some of these things are tradition. Some of these things might be doctrinal. Why does the church believe in purgatory? Or what are indulgences? Or why does the church teach this about the Blessed Virgin Mary? I know it can be overwhelming, but ask the questions that you need to ask. It doesn't mean that you're always going to find answers in ways that make sense to you. Sometimes things are going to be tough to understand, but ask the questions and learn the answers. That's the one thing I love about the Catholic Church is even if it doesn't make sense to me in the moment, there's always an answer. And what I usually find is that when I get the answer and then dive into it, the things I don't understand are solved by the things that I do understand. So ask those questions. You're not going to offend anybody. No one's going to judge you. Go to Mass. Write things down. When you read the catechism, create like a little chart. One of my friends did this, and it was extremely helpful to him. He went through the catechism, and he made this chart of the things that he agreed with, the things that he didn't understand or he wanted more information on, and then the things that he disagreed with. And it was like pages and pages of charts. And we would meet together, and he would show me where he was with these things. And until finally one day, he says, here's where I'm at. And he had all these charts and all this thing, and he throws down a blank piece of paper and he says, this is where I'm at right now. These are all the things that I disagree with. And now he's coming into the church. Beautiful, my friends. But you don't get there without asking the questions. So make sure that you do that. And then lastly, number 5, this is important. It's hard. It's probably the hardest, but I think it's important. You got to find your people. What do I mean by your people? I mean some Catholics in your life that can help you process this, that can walk that journey with you. It doesn't mean that they have to know everything or they have to be the perfect people, but it does mean that they have to be people who are actually practicing the faith and are a good example to you. You need to find people in your life. Maybe it's a priest you can meet with and talk to regularly, or a good friend or a family member, somebody who is Catholic, who's walking that journey, who can help you, who can answer questions, who can encourage you, who can guide you, because sometimes it can feel so lonely, depending on your circumstance. I was talking to a friend the other day who's all on his own in this journey. And it's so scary sometimes when you feel like the lights are going on for you and you're seeing the beauty of the Catholic Church, and yet all the people in your life that have known you and you've known in the faith, they look at you and they don't understand what you're doing. You know, that's going to happen. And there's a lot of other things I could talk about here too, as far as what else you need to do. But I think these 5 are so important as you get started on this journey. Find your people. You might say, how do I do that? How do I find my people? Well, start with finding the priest. Start with finding a good priest that you can talk to and go from there. And then ask the Lord to lead you. Now, maybe you've already got some people. Maybe someone's been bugging you about the Catholic Church. Maybe that's your person. But maybe you're struggling. Maybe you're on your own. That's where you really need to pray and ask the Lord to lead you to those people. And maybe there'll be people that you find online. Maybe there'll be friends you find in an online group or a prayer community. You know, we've got this incredible community called the Rosary Crew, where we get together and pray the Rosary every day. We've been doing it for 5 years now, every single day on this YouTube channel, Rosary Crew with Keith Nestor. There's a lot of people in that group that have come together to help one another. So you can find those online communities, but it's even better when you can find the people in person. And you're going to need that. You're not meant to do this alone. Remember, my friends, the Catholic Church means the universal church. And that's one of the beautiful things about the Catholic faith, is that it connects us with people all over the world, all throughout time and space, who have come into this beautiful church that Christ has created and sustains. You're not meant to do it on your own. So if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling lonely, reach out to somebody. Look for people that you can connect with. That's so important that you need to do that. So real quick, recap. Number 1, read the catechism. Number 2, go to daily Mass. Number 3, ask for God to lead you into all truth. Number 4, ask questions. And number 5, find your people, my friends. I hope this has helped you. If it has, please do me a favor, subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a lot of other videos on here that might be helpful to you as well as other places out there on the internet. Dig in, my friends, and let the Lord guide you. Thank you so much. Take care, and God bless.